You're part of the Morning Majority, 105.9 FM and AM 630.
WMAL.
7:37 on the Morning Majority, and yes, I don't know if we should hail the Redskins today. I mean, it was a tough loss there yesterday as we watched Cam Newton just sort of have his way with the Redskins, and we saw the debut of John Beck as the Redskins quarterback, and sadly it ended in a loss. But that doesn't mean we can't talk about it and learn from our experiences and move forward in a positive way. And here to help us with that is Trevor Matich, who's a former Redskin, of course, and our analyst here. I want to say also before I start that the Redskin Report is presented to you by Fork Union Military Academy. Okay, Trevor, let's do the analysis. John Beck is a quarterback. I think we saw a tremendous effort by Cam Newton, really quite an amazing quarterback. How did Beck do in your mind?
You know what John Beck actually did, Brian, it's John Beck. You're not John Beck, you're Brian. He actually did well. You got to remember that this is his first start since 2007, his rookie year. And so this is his first time at regular season game speed for a long, long time. He started a bit slow. He had a few negative plays, but overall he was in it mentally, and he was good enough physically. He did a pretty good job.
He had the ability to scramble, which, of course, Rex Grossman didn't really have.
Rex is rather stationary, and when you've got a makeshift offensive line, they had three guys starting at new positions. It does help that the quarterback can scramble around and extend plays, and that helped the Redskins. You could definitely see that the Redskins' offense was able to extend plays and extend drives because Beck was able to go outside the system, run around, and wait for someone to come open. The problem was too often those receivers dropped passes when he did that.
So, the offensive line is beat up. Looks like Santana's going to be out. Hightower may be out.
Yeah,
the injuries
looks real bad for him.
The injuries are out. This season's lost, right?
Well, I don't know. Brian Wilson thinks they're going to win 10 games.
Yeah, well, I said he was crazy back then, and that was when they were healthy.
Did I say that? I don't quite remember saying that. I don't have any memory of that.
The thing is, right now, you're right. They do have injuries, and they don't have the depth to really handle those injuries like the teams at the very top. But at the same time, we're getting into a place where a lot of teams have injuries right now, especially in the NFC East. And so, it's how they manage those injuries that really matters. And really, it's a matter of just not shooting themselves in the foot. The Redskins lost this game in part because Cam Newton, the quarterback for Carolina, was fantastic. Yeah. But they also lost it because they failed to make plays that were there to be made. The receivers especially dropped some uncontested passes that gave Carolina extra chances at drives and took away Redskins' opportunities to score. And even with the injuries, the Redskins were in position to possibly win this game had they just made the uncontested plays.
So if you're a Redskins fan, are we to the point of managing expectations now? And if so, how do we manage expectations for the rest of the season?
Mary Catherine, we manage expectations by hitting ourselves in the head with a hammer because it feels so good when we stop.
Yeah.
This is about where the Redskins probably ought to be, fighting around 500, and if they can, stay relatively healthy, and if they play pretty good football, a chance to get above that a game or two. The thing is, I thought last year that this team was about 4 years away from really being fully competitive without having to catch lightning in a bottle and have a lot of breaks come their way, because they had to replace so many offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and other places, especially quarterback, to get up to NFL level. And it takes time to do that. And so when you talk about expectations for the Redskins, you've got to look at it one of two ways, and you can make the choice whichever you want. You can be for one season at a time. And in that case, well, you've got to manage the expectations because they can be frustrating. Or you look at it from a standpoint of where they are now in the second year of what amounts to a 4 or 5 year plan. And if you look at that, they've improved the core of their football team. And so, you can see progress. Redskins have had an average of a head coach every other year for the last decade. Right? Well, right now we're in the second year of this head coach. So he's in a building process, and hopefully they won't cut short that building process like they have with other coaches.
As a tiny aside, I'm going to send Coach some sunscreen. because it looked like he knew.
Doesn't he look like he's toasted?
Yeah, he always looks like he's a little red. Hey, let me ask you this. It's not a Redskin question, but we always like to see Mary Catherine Hand swoon when I mention the name Tim Tebow.
Oh, yes.
What an amazing comeback in that game in Denver.
Oh, yeah, listen, they were 0 for 10 on third downs. By the time 5 minutes were left in that game, they were down 15-0. Tebow had completed 4 passes for 40 yards. The few Denver fans in the audience were calling his name out, mocking him. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, he leads this furious comeback. This is Tim Tebow. I'm very happy for him because he's really, truly, honestly a fantastic guy. Mm-hmm. There's nothing fake about the persona that he puts out there. So, he's going to be under a lot of pressure in his career, but to have this one under his belt, I think, is good for him.
Let me tell you something. Cam Newton, Tim Tebow, Calvin Johnson, 3 slices of nice for the ladies out there. Just keep watching.
Nice.
That's what I'm saying.
And by the way, how did the Maryland Terrapins do this?
No, we're not talking. Well, I mean, if you want to fire Randy Edsel, then I'm right there with you.
Randy Edsel, they're in a bit of their own rebuilding project. Edsel's a good coach.
All right. We'll see. We'll see where we go with that.
Trevor Matich, thank you very much.